You made it. We're on the last video for the last session for the week. It is lesson 27, session 5. This is a refine, so it's all about using everything we've learned about time. We're on page 611, and it just says at the top, understanding of time, because it is a review. Number 1, Lamar watches his little sister while his mom is busy. He plays blocks with her for 15 minutes, peekaboo for 5 minutes, and trains for 13 minutes. His mom comes back to put his sister down for a nap at 2:15 p.m. What time did Lamar start watching his sister? Show your work. So this is again where they're trying to use all of those words. I apologize for the glare. It's hard for you to see. But this is where you're going back. You need to know when they started. So you're going to go back from the time that they gave you, which is 2:15. So I'm going to draw my clock. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, and 11, which is 1 and 2, became 15. So I'm going to jump back 15 minutes because it's when does it start? He's done at 2:15, so I need to know when he did all of those things. When he started 5, 10, 15, check. 5 minutes, check, and 13. 5, 10, 1, 2, 3. Now my minute hand has gone back from the 15 to here. That means it is no longer 2, it is now 1 o'clock. Now I need to figure out what time that minute hand is. So I'm going to do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And then there's 2 more jumps here. So 1, 2, 44, 43, 42. 1:42 is when he started. Now number 2 on page 612 is the opposite. They give you the end time. And you need to finish, they tell you when he starts, and you need to find out when he's done, when he's finishing. So you're going to go forward from the time they give you, which is 10 a.m. So I'm going to do this one as a number line. 10 a.m., 5, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. We'll see if that's enough. This is 10:50. So let's jump 6. You know what we're gonna do? This one's harder because they gave you numbers that are not 0 or 5, and we know 0 and 5 are friendlier numbers. So I'm looking for ways to make them 0 and 5, and there's not really an easy way. So I'm gonna start with 6 just to get it done. 5 and then 1 is 10:06. Cross that off. Next one is 12 minutes. I'm going to jump 10 first, 5 and 10, which is 10:16, and then I'm going to jump 2 more, which is 10:18. This is 10:20. Cross that off. Now I'm going to jump 27 minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20. Which is 10:38, and then I have 7 more minutes. 1 and 2 and 5, which is 10:45. So he is done at 10:45. I can also do it using the elapsed time, which is 7 plus 2 is 9. 9 plus 6 is 15. 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 45. If he started at o'clock, he would end at 10:45. I just checked my work, and both ways I found it the same way, the same number. So that means I did it right. If you do it these two different ways and you get different numbers, then you know one is wrong, and you got to figure out which one is wrong. All right, on to number 3. Luca starts cleaning his room at the time shown on the clock. which tells the time shown on the clock. Letter A, 9 before 9. B, 9 before 10, 11 before 10, or D, 51 before 9, which I told you we don't really do in one of my other videos. They're just trying to trick you. You normally go 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes before, but that's like max. So first things first, you need to find that checkpoint, which is the hour. So you can tell based on where the minute hand and the hour hands are, if it's almost 9 or if it's almost 10. If I look at this, I can tell that it is almost 10 o'clock because as your minute hand gets closer to the 12, the hour hand is going to be right up on the hour that you're coming to. So if it was 3:55, the hour hand would be closer to the 4 than the 3. So I know it is almost 10. If it was before 9, that hour hand would be down here toward the 9, but it's not. So I know it is not before 9. It is before 10. Now I need to figure out if it is 10 minutes, or excuse me, 9 minutes or 11 minutes. And I can tell right out of the gate that one of those is right and one of those is wrong. Because if you remember, these are 5-minute increments as you move these numbers around on the clock. So this would be 5, here we got the 11 in, and that'll help. This is 5 minutes and this is 10 minutes. So if it is 11 before 10, that means that this minute hand right here would be on this side. But it's not, it's within the 10 and the 11, it's in between. So that means it is between 10 and 6. And the number that's between 10 and 6 is 9. It is one less or one after the 10, which means there's 9 minutes left. So the answer is B. I hope that makes sense. All right, number 4, which pair of clocks show the same time? You're only going to choose one pair, and that's because it says which pair. So a pair is 2, but they're only talking about a pair, so it's a singular pair. Excuse me, I'm going to show you how I look at these so I can tell which one is correct and which one is not. Letter A ties into what we were talking about here. As your minute hand gets closer to the 12, the hour hand is going to be closest to what time is coming up next. So this actually would be 3:55, not 4:55. If it was 4:55, the hour hand would be super close to the 5, but it's not. So A, these do not match because the clock says 3:55, but this is 4:55, so that's not right. All right, letter B, 8:12. Again, this is what I was talking about here too, is that this is 5 minutes and this is 10 minutes. And I'm looking at 12. So the hour hand for 8:12 should be over here, not in here. This is like 8:06 to 8:09 because it hasn't hit the 2 yet. So B is wrong. Those do not match up. Letter C, 1:04. They're tricking you here, thinking that you won't catch that. But we know the 4 is really 4 groups of 5, which is 20 minutes. So it's not, this says 1:20, this is 1:04, wrong. Now our last one is 6:32. Our hour hand is at the 6, and the minute hand is 2 dashes past the 30 mark. So it's 6:32. So the correct answer is letter D. Feel free to pause or stop if I went too fast. Feel free to jump ahead if you need, okay? I'm going to take a picture for our site. All right. And then the next one, we're going to have to do a yes or no for those. So you have to be very very careful when you read those word clues that they don't try to trick you or throw you off with either the words that they're using or the amount of words that they're using. So Patty, Joyce, and Steph need to leave for school at 7:45 a.m. Will each girl leave for school on time? So we have to leave at 7:45. And the first one says Patty gets up at 7:10. It takes her 10 minutes to get ready, 7 to pack her lunch, and 15 to eat breakfast. And she gets up at 7:10. So we're going to start at 7:10 and then we're going to go forward to see if she'll have enough time. So 7 plus 5 plus 0 is 12. 1, 2, 3, 32 minutes. So then you're going to take 7:10 and add 32 minutes. She will get there at 7:42. If she starts at 7:10 and she adds on 32 minutes of elapsed time, that's how much time it's passed for her to do those 3 things, she'll get there at 7:42 and she'll be okay. So your answer for Patty is yes. First one is Patty, and that is a yes. The time for all of them is 7:45. Now let's read the second row. Joyce gets up at 6:50 a.m. And she exercises for 30 minutes. It takes her 20 minutes to get ready and 12 minutes to eat breakfast. So she started at 6:50. Now I'm going to add up my elapsed time and see how that works out. 0 plus 0 plus 2 is 2. 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 6. There are 60 minutes in an hour, so it's going to take her an hour and 2 minutes. So this is an hour and 2 minutes. Now what I can do is I know her start time is 6:50. I'm going to add on an hour and 2 minutes. And she gets there at 7:52. She's late. So Joyce would be a no. Let's check that work to see if that is correct, if I did that correctly. You could also do, so 62 minutes is her elapsed time. You could do 6:50, 62. Okay. You could also just go forward in increments too, like we did on the number line or the clock, but she'll be late, so she will know. Now we're on our last friend, which is Steph, and Steph gets up at 7:15. It takes her 15 minutes to get ready, 5 to pack her lunch, and 9 for breakfast. So again, we need to know if she's going to have enough time based on her starting time if her end time will match. So 15 plus 5 is 20, plus 9 is 29. So I'm going to do 7:15 plus 29 minutes. 9 plus 5 is 14. 7:44. So her answer is yes. Steph will have enough time. So Patty and Steph are going to be okay. Joyce is going to be late at 7:52. She needs to speed up some of her processes. All right, we're on our last page. You made it. Good job. Page 614. And it has a little red envelope and says, thank you. Number 6, Mariah plays 2 games of checkers with her brother. The first game takes 12 minutes and the second game takes 18 minutes. They put the game away at 7:55. What time did they start playing checkers? So this is where we're going to go backwards because we want to know what time she started. Okay. So they're done at 7:55. That's their end time. So we're going to go backwards from that. Let's see, 12, 18. Just making sure the first game takes 12 minutes. The next one is 18. So 12 and 18 minutes. There's only 2. So this is the total elapsed time for both of the games. 8 plus 2 is 10. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 30. So I'm going to subtract 30 minutes from 7:55. 5 minus 0 is 5. 5 minus 3 is 2. 7:25. And if you look on a clock, you can see that 25 and 55 are exactly half an hour. Anytime you cut it in half, it's going to be a half an hour. So there's definitely 3 minutes in there, which is the 3 from the 30. So there you go. You can do this strategy if you're ready for it. If not, feel free to use the number line or the clock. That may be a little bit too much for some of you. So if it is, do what works for you. Okay, number 7. Jamal starts writing thank you notes at 5:25 p.m. It takes him 20 minutes to write them. He also spends some time writing addresses on the envelopes. He finishes at 6 p.m. How long did it take Jamal to write the addresses? Ooh, very cool. Okay, so they've left some of that unsaid, and we have to figure out what's missing. So let's start at the beginning. He starts at 5:25. He's all the way done at 6 p.m. if I'm correct. Yes. Takes him 20 minutes to write them. And then the addressing, we don't know how long that takes. So we're going to start out on the number line, 5:25. And we're going to go in increments 5 because that is what our clock goes by. So we have 5:35, 40, 45, 50, 6, 6:05. This will be 5:35, 5:40. Oops. 5:40, 5:45, 5:50. And just to make it done, let's say that's 6:05. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see that. Maybe too small. Okay, I think that's better. So he starts at 5:25. He's done at 6 o'clock. So we'll put a little star there. That's where he's done. He starts here, writes for 20 minutes, 5, 10, 15, 20. So here's where he's writing. So we got his start time, we got his writing time, we have him done at 6 o'clock. So you can cross off everything you've done. Now you need to see how much time it took for him to address those labels. Now what you're going to do is jump from where he ended with writing to where he ended overall. And however many jumps that is how many minutes it took him. So 5, 10, 15, 15 minutes is your answer. You could get it any other number of ways. You could do it on the clock. You could have also said, well, 5:25 plus 20 is 5:45, and I know there's 15 minutes there. You didn't have to do all of that, but this is for those of you that might need that extra bit. So number 8, you're just going to write a word problem about elapsed time that you can solve. So it could be Camilla starts her video at 5 o'clock. It takes her 10 minutes to write her script, 15 minutes to shoot her video, and 6 minutes to email it to Miss Lamb. How long or what time did she end? and do the opposite if you want to find the start time. So have some fun with that. And when you're done, you're all done with math for the week. So, and hopefully it'll really start paying off. You can practice around the house, telling time, teaching your brothers, sisters, pets, even what time it is. This is a skill that's going to take you, you're going to have for the rest of your life. So it's super important that you know how to tell time on an analog clock. Bye, guys.